begin with a debate over safety and privacy happening right now. People in Chandler weighing in on the controversial Flock Safety cameras.
This comes as City Council decides whether to renew the contract for the automated license plate reader cameras. Fox 10's Jacob Luthi joins us live from Chandler tonight, where neighbors have packed the council chambers. They're pretty opinionated on this. Jacob, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Christina, John, very opinionated. In fact, they're continuing to talk right now. I keep looking over at the screen over there because just so I can make sure that people are still talking. They have been for about an hour now. Dozens of people raising concerns about these cameras, and the meetings kind of started on an odd note. There were a lot of people who had signs that they were holding against these Flock cameras. Mayor Kevin Hartke asking them to put them away kind of stalled this meeting for a little bit because they wouldn't put the signs down. Ultimately decided to keep the meeting going despite the fact that those signs were up, and they continue to be up. If you're watching a live stream of this meeting, you can see them behind every speaker that steps up. But again, this is a really big conversation happening right now in Chandler between surveillance and privacy as well as public safety. Now again, the City Council is weighing whether or not to renew their contract with Flock for these over $150,000 contract for this camera technology. Now the cameras send real-time alerts to police when they detect vehicles linked to stolen cars, missing persons, or active warrants. Chandler Police launched the program in March 2024 with 14 of these ALPR cameras, and a year later the city expanded the network to 40. Now opponents argue that the 24/7 cameras create a massive vehicle database that could be misused for surveillance, profiling, and tracking people without their knowledge. They say there will be no oversight once that data reaches the AWS cloud where Flock stores that information, with City Council member O.D. Harris saying the council has no oversight over that data that isn't in their jurisdiction.
I can't go over there and look at it, and because I can't go over there and look at it, I have major problems with that because that's oversight. That is our job, to look, to make sure, to protect it. So that's all I'm saying. So listen, I'm not trying to make a spectacle of anything. I'm just simply trying to protect our privacy.
Now, in the last fiscal year, Chandler PD says that there were 7,600 alerts that came through this system. Between July 2025 and April 2026, there were 16 stolen vehicles that were recovered, 9 missing persons located, and a total of 39 arrests. Supporters say the cameras give investigators more detailed, objective vehicle information to help track leads and reduce misidentifications. Councilmember Christine Ellis telling a story of how the cameras were able to track down a drunk driver who hit and killed someone she knew.
For the last 3 years that we have had this in the city of Chandler, read the data and see how many times we have helped people with it. And I'm sitting here saying that I am taking accountability, that if anything happened that is not supposed to happen with this, that we will be the first one to stop it. We will be the first one.
Now, a representative from Flock tells me that over 60 law enforcement agencies in the state of Arizona use their cameras. I'd asked for an interview. They said no one was available, but they did send me this information. They said that the city of Chandler owns 100% of the data under the terms of its contract and controls whether or not to share that data. They also say that their system where that information goes to the cloud meets CJIS data security standards. They do not use facial recognition, and says Flock does not sell its data. But again, there's that oversight question that a lot of people are wondering about. Once it gets to the cloud, who oversees that? And that's not in the city of Chandler's jurisdiction. That is where a majority of this debate has been happening all throughout the evening, and it continues through the night. No telling how much longer it could go. Christina, John.
Okay, keep us posted on that. Jacob Luthi tonight. Jacob, thank you.